of current. Magnetic effects of current from your third lesson, 12th standard physics subject. Oersted experiment. Oersted experiment in 1820. Hans Christian Oersted, while preparing for his lecture in physics, noticed that electric current passing through a wire deflects the nearby magnetic compass. This is a very, very important point for the Oersted experiment. Electric current passing through a wire deflects the nearby magnetic compass. By proper investigation, he observed that the deflection of magnetic compass is due to the change in magnetic field produced around the current carrying conductor. Once again repeat, he observed that the deflection of magnetic compass. So deflection of magnetic magnetic compass is due to the change in magnetic field produced around current carrying conductor. When the direction of current is reversed, the magnetic compass deflects in opposite direction. Here, the magnetic complex deflects in opposite direction. This lead to the development of the theory electromagnetism, which unifies the two branches in physics, namely electricity and magnetism. So, when the compass box placed in the electric current means it automatically deflected by the electric current. That means the charge flowing through the conductor, it will make some magnetic field. So, due to the magnetic field, the compass needle deflected in such a direction. When the current is reversed means, or the charge flow in the opposite direction means, the deflection of needle also in opposite direction. So, deflection of needle also and circular loop. This is the diagram for the current carrying straight conductor. Here this is the diagram to indicate magnetic field lines around straight long wire carrying current. So here when the current passing through the straight conductor which produce the magnetic field lines. Suppose we keep a magnetic compass near the current carrying straight conductor. Here suppose we keep the magnetic compass near a current carrying straight conductor, then the needle of the magnetic compass experiences a torque and deflected to align in the direction of the magnetic field at that point. Tracing out the direction shown by the magnetic compass, we can draw the magnetic lines here. This is the magnetic field lines at a distance. For a straight current carrying conductor, nature of the magnetic field is like concentric circle having either center at the axis of the conductor as shown in the figure. Next thing, the direction of circular magnetic field lines will be clockwise or anti-clockwise depending on the direction of the current in the conductor. Here the direction of the current clockwise direction, then anti-clockwise direction means based on the direction of the current, the magnetic field lines formed in the clockwise direction and anti-clockwise direction. So the direction of the circular magnetic field lines will be clockwise or anti-clockwise depending on the direction of the current in the conductor. Here this is the outward direction of electric current. This side inward direction of electric current passing through in inward direction. Here current passing through this conductor in the outward direction. Based on the direction of the current, the magnetic field lines will be clockwise or anti-clockwise. If the strength or magnitude of the current is increased, then the density of the magnetic field will also increases. Strength of the current is increases means density of the magnetic field will also increases. The strength of the magnetic field B decreases as the distance R from the conductor increases. So, strength of the magnetic field decreases means here this is the strength of the magnetic very decrease because distance R from the conductor, current carrying conductor to field increases. Next, suppose we keep the magnetic compass near the current carrying circular conductor, then the needle magnetic compass experience a torque and deflected to align in the direction of the magnetic field at that point. We can notice that at the point A and B in the vicinity of the coil, the magnetic field lines are circular, A and B point. So, near the A and B point, magnetic field are formed in circular. The magnetic field lines are nearly parallel to each other near the center of the loop, indicating that the field present near the center of the coil is almost uniform. Here, almost uniform. The strength of the magnetic field is increased if either the current in the coil or number of turns or both are increased. Once again repeat, very important point. The strength of the magnetic field is increased if either the current in the coil or the number of turns or both are increased. The polarity north pole or south pole depends on the direction of the current in the loop. This is also very important point. Note it down. The polarity north pole or south pole depends on the direction of current in the loop. The rule. What is the definition of right and thumb rule? If you hold the current carrying conductor in our right hand such that the thumb points in the direction of current flow, here this thumb points in the direction of current flow, then the fingers here, then the fingers encircling the wire points in the direction of the magnetic field lines produced. So, once again repeat, if you hold the current carrying conductor in our right hand such that the thumb points in the direction of current flow, then the fingers encircling the wire points in the direction of the magnetic field lines produced. As shown in the figure, right hand rule for current carrying straight conductor and circular coil. The next one is Maxwell right hand corkscrew rule. Next topic is Maxwell's right hand corkscrew rules. This is also important 2-mark question. This rules is used to determine the direction of the magnetic field. So, this is very important point. Note it down. This rule is used to determine the direction of the magnetic field. Now, I am going to explain the concept. If we rotate a right hand screw using a screwdriver, then the direction of the current is same as the direction in which the screw advances, and the direction of the rotation of the screw gives the direction of the magnetic field. Once again repeat, if we rotate the right hand screw using a screwdriver, then the direction of current is same as the direction in which screw advances, and the direction of the rotation of the screw gives the direction of the magnetic field. Explanation of Biot-Savart law. What is the statement of Biot-Savart law? Biot-Savart law is nothing but conductor carrying current varies directly as the state of the conductor I, directly as the magnitude of the length element dl vector, and directly as the sign of the angle say theta between dl vector and r cap. The last one is inversely as the square of the distance between the point P and the length element dl vector. From this formula, we have to explain the definition of Biot-Savart law. dB is nothing but magnetic field. The magnetic field is directly proportional to the current and is directly proportional to the dl, that means length, magnitude of length of the element dl, and directly inversely proportional to the square of the distance between the point P and length element dl vector. The next, dB is equal to k into ideal divided by r square into sin theta. So remove the proportionality, we can add proportionality constant. We can multiple proportionality constant is nothing but k. So dB is equal to k ideal divided by r square into sin theta. Now I am going to explain the concept of Biot-Savart law. Soon after the Oersted discovery, both Jean Baptiste Biot and Felix Savart in 1819 did quantitative experiments on the force experienced by a magnet kept near current carrying wire and arrival at a mathematical expression that gives the magnetic field at some point in specific in terms of the current that produces the magnetic field. This is true for any shape of the conductor. Here, Biot and Savart experimentally observed that the magnitude of field dB vector at a point P at a distance r from the small elemental length taken on a conductor carrying current varies. So this is the statement of Biot-Savart law. So directly as the strength of the current I, directly as the magnitude of the length element dl vector, directly as the sign of the angle say theta between dl vector and r cap, inversely as the square of the distance between the point P and the length element dl vector. So this is the expressed as, once again repeat this formula, magnetic field dB vector is directly proportional to the current, magnetic field is directly proportional to the magnitude of the length of the element dl vector, and magnetic field is inversely proportional to the square of the distance between the point P and the length of the length element dl vector. So remove this proportionality, we can multiple proportionality constant. We obtained from this formula dB is equal to k into ideal divided by r square into sin theta, where k is the proportionality constant. What is the value of k? K is equal to mu naught divided by 4 pi. In SI unit, k is equal to 1. K is equal to 1. In CGS units, in vector notation, so we have to write this term into vector notation. So dB vector is equal to, what is the value of k? Mu naught divided by 4 pi into I dl vector into r cap divided by r square. Sin theta can be written as vector notation. We obtained ideal vector cross r cap divided by r square. Here vector dB vector is perpendicular to both ideal vector, pointing the direction of the current flow. Here this is the dB vector is perpendicular to the both I and dl vector. So the next, The equation 3.37 used to compute the magnetic field only due to a small elemental length dl of the conductor. The net magnetic field point P at point P, net magnetic field at point P due to the conductor is obtained from principle of superposition by considering the contribution from all current element ideal vector. So from contribution from all the current element ideal vector. Hence, integrating equation 3.37, integrate this equation 3.37, we obtained B vector is equal to integration of dB vector is equal to mu naught I divided by 4 pi is the constant term. So, we cannot integrate this constant term according to the integration rule. So, that is why remove this constant value from the integration symbol, mu naught I divided by 4 pi, then integration symbol, integration of dl vector cross r cap divided by r square. So, where the integral is taken over the entire current distribution. Cases: if the point P lies, this point P lies on the conductor, what happens? Theta value is equal to 0. So, if the point P lies on the conductor, then the theta is equal to 0 degree. Therefore, dB vector is 0. Then the second point, this point P which is placed perpendicular to the conductor, carrying a conductor, what happens? Theta value is equal to 90 degree. So, if the point lies perpendicular to the conductor, then the theta is equal to 90 degree. Therefore, dB vector is maximum. That means magnetic field experience a point P at a maximum value. So, is maximum and is given by dB vector is equal to ideal divided by r square into n cap, because sin 90 degree value is 1. So, that is why dB vector is equal to ideal divided by r square into n cap, where n cap is the unit vector perpendicular to both ideal vector and r cap. Here from this diagram, the direction of the magnetic field using right hand rule, Fleming right hand rule. Here thumb finger represent magnetic field, forefinger represent the current, and here middle finger represent the distance. That means current passing through the element from the point to P. So here from this right hand rule, we have to explain this concept, last concept. Now, similarities between Coulomb's law and Biot-Savart law. Similarities between Coulomb's law and Biot-Savart's law. Electric and magnetic field. So, first point, obey inverse square law, so they are long range field. So, note it down. This point is very useful for your objective type question. Obey inverse square law, so they are long range fields. The second point, obey the principle of superposition and are linear with respect to source. So note it down, this point also. Obey the principle of superposition and are linear with respect to source. In magnitude, E is directly proportional to Q. That means electric field is directly proportional to Q for the Coulomb's law. Then magnetic field is directly proportional to current and the length of the element for the Biot-Savart law. From this tabulation, we can easily understand difference between Coulomb's law and Biot-Savart's law. Electric field and magnetic field. First point, for the electric field produced by a scalar source, that is an electric charge Q. For the magnetic field produced by a vector source, that is current element ideal vector. Second point, for the electric field, it is directed along the position vector joining the source and the point at which the field is calculated. For the magnetic field, it is directly perpendicular to the position vector r vector and the current element ideal vector. For the electric field, third point, does not depend on angle. For the magnetic field, the third point is depends on the angle between the position vector R vector and the current element ideal vector. Then the last one is note that the exponent of charge Q source and exponent of electric field E is unity. Similarly, the exponent of current element ideal source and the exponent of magnetic field B is unity. So magnetic field also unity, then electric field E is also unity. In other words, electric field E vector is proportional only to charge. So note it down, electric field E vector is proportional only to charge source and not on higher powers of charges q square, q cube, etc. Similarly, magnetic field B vector is proportional to current element ideal vector source and not on square or cube or higher powers of current elements. The cause and effect have linear relationship.